In the previous video, we talked about feedbacks, how to do some logic, some conditionals, how to track image states, and what we also did was we created a new page, a blank page, to track all this. The next thing we're going to talk about is widgets, and what we're going to do is create another blank page. So I'm going to go to that feedback panel. Under my landscape page, I'm going to right click and add a new page. This way I can get a blank canvas to do some editing. And inside this blank canvas, we're going to add some widgets for a URL window. We're going to add it for an app launch, and we'll do some things with navigation elements as well. Inside the More tab, we're going to find our widgets. We can do buttons, links, and labels, but the first one we're going to focus on is the URL. Bring this URL into top left hand side here, and we can customize the size and shape of this URL. So inside the properties window, I can adjust the width, I can adjust the height. So I'm going to make it a nice size window, do 25 by 20. So I got a nice box that I can actually view some URL content from any web page. Type in the address, type in our website here. So now when your customer navigates to this page, they can see your company website, they can navigate through your company website. Maybe it's just an add-on feature that you give to them. Take them to their favorite website, whether it's CNN.com, whether it's Fox.com, ESPN.com. Just have it be a customized feature. They can navigate through that URL, but they're never leaving the app. We can scale to fit the web page, so it's going to smaller sizes here for the iPad. So you can make this window as big as the iPad screen. You can do it smaller. You can also use this for cameras. If you know the static IP of a camera, type in the IP address within the URL window. So that way you can view your cameras if it's not a FOSCAM camera within the app itself. Some of the other widgets are drawers. Now with drawers, we can add drawers to the left, right, top, bottom of the screen. So when we drag it into our screen, we see a blue line appear wherever we have dragged the element. So if I want to drag this to the right side of my screen, we get a little handle on the right side saying that there is a drawer on the right side of our screen. Drawers work, we had to assign the panel and page inside the properties window. So after I added the drawer, go to my properties window and we'll assign the panel name. So we're going to use drawers and assign the page name either as nav right or nav left. Since it's on the right side of the screen, we're going to use the drawer nav right. With the percentage, this is how far we want this drawer to open and view on the screen. So we can do it a certain percentage, but now we have our volume controls, our home, and our help button. We can have the drawer be initially open, meaning that when we navigate to this panel, this drawer appears open. We can also have it pinned, and pin drawers remove the handle and they're always open, always visible on the screen. Drawers are great tools for those buttons that you're using throughout your setup. So your volume controls, your inputs, you can have these common buttons scattered throughout your different pages, but you don't have to go through and create extra buttons all the time. Now with launches, we can launch the apps, we can add mail and support, we can also launch the browser. When you drag these into the screen, so if we drag in the browser launch here, we get this red question mark with this green box around it. Neither the red question mark nor the green box will sync on the screen. This is just an element within the builder to identify that you have something on this area of the screen. When we drag it to the screen, we can assign the address that we want this to go to. So again, we can type our website. So you can have them tap this area and it opens up to your web page. Now you can assign an image to this by going to your images and dragging in one of the images from your folders. I've got a web icon here and we can use that graphic. Now you will notice that the green area does not match the actual image size here. So what I'm going to do is adjust the image size and the selectable area. Inside the properties window we see it's 4 by 2. The width appears okay, so let's change the height. So now I get a 4 by 4 height and width to match the size of my button. If you were not to adjust the selectable area, that means that if they touch the bottom of that button, nothing would occur. They'd actually have to touch the top left corner, the top right corner, in order to get that launch to perform. Let's say you want to create your own button that launches you to the Sonos application. Now in the process, you want to link back to your main page, and you want to create a macro for that as well. Inside my images, I'm going to find a Sonos graphic and bring that onto my page. So now we want to create our macro, so we'll go to our device, and our macro is going to be turn the receiver on and switch it to TVCD. I'll scroll down, find my power on command, find the proper input, and now I want to incorporate the app launch and the link. So under the More tab, under Actions, I want to bring in my link and bring in my launch. Now double click on your Sonos button and we see that we have a link. So to create a link, same way we created that drawer. Assign your panel, assign your page. So once I go to Sonos, I want this also to take me back to my main screen and my home page. For the app URL, you need to know the URL scheme of the app that you're opening. For iOS apps, we recommend going to a website called handleopenurl.com. This is for iOS applications. Type in your app, and now we can find the actual scheme. We're going to use the keyboard shortcuts for copy and paste, so Command or Control C, go back to the builder, inside the URL field, Control V, Command V, and return. So now we have a macro, turn on the receiver, switch inputs, take me to my home page, and finally open up the Sonos application. For Android devices, you want to go to play.google.com and search for your application. So I'm going to type in Sonos and click on the Sonos controller for Android. Inside the URL field, you'll see ID equals. You want to copy and paste this last bit of information into the builder. Again, this is for Android. You copy that field into the same URL that we have used for the iOS app. For the hands-on piece, we would like you to add a URL widget, add your company to it. Do an app launch as an action, so go ahead and launch it to the Sonos app, and use the link to take you back to the main page as well.